Thank you to Policy Genius for sponsoring today's video. You need home and auto insurance? It's that simple. Are your home and auto policies up for renewal? Policy Genius is your one-stop shop for all your insurance need, and getting started is easy. Policy Genius will do the work for you by comparing prices from top insurers and to ensure that you get the right coverage at the best price. First, head to policygenius.com/RPR and answer a few questions about yourself and your property. Policy Genius will show you price estimates for policies that fit your needs and help you find the best option. Their team of experts will look for ways to save you more, especially when you bundle your home and auto policies. The Policy Genius team works for you, not the insurance companies. If they find a better rate that you're paying now, they'll switch you over for free. Policy Genius has saved customers an average of $1,250 per year over what they were paying for home and auto insurance. Head to policygenius.com/RPR to get your free home and auto insurance quotes and see how much you could save.
Oh, Susanna, don't cry for me. We had some good years, so let me be. The world goes on, I sang my song, gave my own true love for you to see. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry. Hold the tears back and dry your eyes. What's this life without a sweet goodbye? And though it's over, take this letter for when the nights grow colder. Dear friends and gentle hearts, the time has come to part. The jig is up now, so lay me down. So when the world gets dark, know I loved you from the start. Listen to the words I sang to you. The son of America, a Pennsylvania child. They say the day I was born was the 4th day of July. My mother's love and my father's pride. But the hard times would come again. Out on the Bowery was the very end. Dear friends and gentle hearts, the time has come to part. The jig is up now, so lay me down. So when the world gets dark, know I loved you from the start. Listen to the words I sang to you. Never been to Alabama, never seen Louisiana, never lived in old Kentucky. I ain't never been so lucky. Song about the Southland from a Yankee Doodle dandy man. That's America, America. Oh, Susanna, don't cry for me. Read this letter and take the time you need. Dear friends and gentle hearts, the time has come to part. The jig is up now, so lay me down. So when the world gets dark, know I loved you from the start. Listen to the words I sang to you. Listen to the words I sang to you.
Let me first start out by stating the obvious here and talking about the boxes out in front of the shop that you will see a couple different times in this video. Cedar has decided that we are going to get rid of anything and everything that we just flat do not need, which means one by one, she is going through every box that we have out here in the shop in an effort to, again, condense things before we dive back into the shop and get it finished up. As far as the excavator is concerned, I've had the hydraulic cylinder at a local machine shop where they were unable to find the right tube diameter to repair the damaged cylinder that I originally took off the excavator. So I got back on the internet and worked extra hard, and I would eventually find what I hope will be the identical dipper cylinder off of another Kobelco SK70. So my hope is that it's a direct fit. The makeshift table that I made to get up close to the excavator when I was welding and repairing it would eventually be used on the Goat Jungle Gym. The underground chicken coop window did not look right to me. The seams were not lined up properly, so I managed to find a scratch and dent piece of plastic at the local big box store that instead of $90 cost me $25. So I didn't feel as bad cutting the windows down so they're evenly proportioned in their openings, meaning they're all 40 inches wide. Once I did this, it looked much better. And while the chicken coop isn't even close to airtight right now, the second I put those windows in place, I could feel the heat coming off of the windows, and I'm certain that they're going to help warm the chicken coop up on those bitter cold winter days. Because I put a Wi-Fi booster out in the shop for the Cummins standby generator, I'm going to use that same Wi-Fi booster to monitor the temperature in the underground chicken coop. I am going to build a custom nesting box for the underground chicken coop, get it hung in place, get the board and batten finished on the inside, build a cute little door to go with the coop, and then we're going to stop right there for a while until the snow melts around the outside. My hope is that as it warms up and as the sun gets higher and higher in the sky, that this window doesn't overheat the chicken coop. And that because we are in fact down in the ground a little bit, that will keep it just comfortable enough in the summer times that this is the preferred place the chickens want to be. As I've thought about this and considered this and watched where the snow slid off the roof over winter, it's obvious I need to move the little gate that I installed on the corner of the underground chicken coop. I will scoot it down about 10 feet so it's not in conflict with the snow that comes off the roof And I think I'm going to add a little bit more dirt around the outside of the railroad ties before I make an attempt to finish the board and batten around the outside as well. I was down at our local hardware store when my buddy Luke told me about one of the old timers that comes in on a regular basis. And this guy tried to help my buddy Luke understand just in fact how poor they were growing up. This man grew up in our little county here, and he said that they grew up so poor that the little house that they lived in, his parents could not afford the batten strips to go over the boards to keep the cold out. Now I would guess that this man grew up either in the Depression or right after the Depression, and he felt the effects firsthand when you in fact don't have what you need to survive. I can only assume that during the Great Depression, because everybody was so poor, it probably was commonplace to simply survive and to do whatever it takes to survive. I've told the story before about my grandfather on my mom's side riding the trains from Kentucky all across the country in an effort to find a job where he could send money back home to his parents and siblings. In those incredibly hard moments, hard people had to be created. I watched my grandparents grow up and save every penny they could possibly save. It became a point of contention between my grandparents because my grandpa insisted on being so frugal with their money. But I'm sure in the hills of Kentucky, my grandfather probably saw poverty in a way that scared him enough to never want to be there again. So he saved his money. There's an idea that hard times create hard people, and those same hard people do everything they can to prevent hard times. And now most of those people that went through those hard times are not here to help us navigate the hard times that are likely right in front of us. The question is, how hard are they going to get? The National Weather Service said that we could get as much as 20 inches of snow in this unexpected snowstorm, and we got 4 inches. It was enough. And Ruby and I are going to clean up as much as we can before the sun comes out. Ruby is a very lovable dog. If you did not notice, every time she gets what she wants, which in that moment was me picking her up, putting her on the four-wheeler because she loves to go for rides. So she gave me her customary face lick, ear nibble, letting me know I was on track. Because most of the snow had already melted and gone away right here in front of the house, now if I can get most of this snow scraped down and pushed out of the way, it will melt off very fast and we will be back to gravel. This is the only snow plow that we have right now because I sold the red plow truck and because the new blue F350 is not quite ready to be a plow truck. And the four-wheeler is actually doing a wonderful job pushing all of the snow where it needs to go. It's a good thing we didn't get any more than 4 inches because I likely would have been in a tight spot with a whole lot more snow. Ruby and I are on our way down to get as many bales of hay as I can fit on the old Dodge Dually. We are down to just a few bales, and already I can see people talking about the price of hay next year. $5 to $6 is what we usually pay for hay. Over summer last year, we paid anywhere from $10 to $15 for a 2-string, 60-pound bale of average hay. It got over $400 a ton in this area, even as much as $450 a ton. And by the way, last year, farmers were farming with diesel that they paid less than $2 a gallon for. If you don't think that's going to affect the price of hay, the price of feed, the price of food, if you don't think that's next on the short list, I'm confident in saying that we do not have enough snow, and more than likely by fall, we will be in a drought again. So I'm going to try and get the hay put up before we get in a situation where we actually need it. And as soon as there's enough feed on the hills for the goats, they're going up on the hills. And I'll save that feed until we need it. Let's go, Ruby. So if you stay in the middle, just don't get on the edges where you could fall off, and carefully push them to me. Here, let me help you. You want me to give you a little stairs? Okay, back up. You're going to get all itchy. Back up. Sorry. I'll get these two out of the way. Let me grab this one. Hang on, I'll pull that one down too. Or not. Okay, the edge right there. Read the edge. Stay away from the edge. The edge can fall off. 2009 was the scariest year financially that Cedar and I had ever gone through. We managed to make it through with our little plumbing company, but it was such a scary experience that we decided we would try and avoid putting ourselves in any situation like that again. And that ultimately led to me making a career change in 2010. And that career change would set us on path to end up living how we're living here and now. Oh, we got a goat. That's why she's yelling at us. Okay, dump it in there. That's why she's making a ruckus. Come on.
Yeah, Bob.
Will you make sure there's no more babies in there? Look at, she just, a little stinker just went in there. Those are cream puff babies because they're small enough to get in there. My grandfather on my dad's side said that during the Depression on the ranch just over the hill from us, that life really didn't change that much. Naturally, the price of all of the commodities went down, which affected them, but it affected everybody. And my grandfather said he continued to wear the same overalls that he always wore, and life continued on, and they even knew of families that were losing their farms and ranches during that time. But because our family ranch did not have any debt connected to it, the ranch stayed in the family until my grandfather would sell it in the 90s. Cedar and I are both descendants from a long line of people that have struggled and have recognized that struggle is part of life, and therefore you should be prepared for those moments of struggle so that the struggle does not have to be any worse than necessary. So if you agree that there have been moments in our recent history where it would be wise to be prepared, then you should be prepared for the struggle that you think may come your way. And if you choose not to prepare, then you are now subject to somebody else's charity. And relying on that business model terrifies me. Now, don't get me wrong, I have most definitely been the beneficiary of charity, but it was never a strategy for me to get where I wanted to go in life. So along the way, Cedar and I have tried to be prepared for the things that we think may impact our family. By the way, these are the batten strips that the old man in the hardware store was talking about when he said his family didn't have the money for batten strips. Now, if you do not think that we are in the final moments of whatever this next struggle might be, and that our last chance to prepare might be slipping through our fingers, if you don't feel that way, then I have some oceanfront property back in my hometown that I'd love to sell you. Regardless, struggle comes and goes, I promise. Be prepared in the ways that you feel you need to be prepared, and always look for opportunities to improve based on things that are happening to others around us. I'm not suggesting you run out and max out your credit card buying beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. That's not what I'm saying. But there's always an opportunity to have an extra can of food on the shelf, or maybe something that might last more than the weekend. So when one of your kids is hungry, you can feed your kids with a smile on your face because you were prepared. I don't know about you, but charity has always felt better to me when I was in a position to give it. See you in a few days.